Our Springfield Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting is called to order for our regular meeting for April 21st, 2020. We will now have our roll call. If anyone has a problem with their audio, please let us know. Call the roll, Ms. Brickles.
Mr. Sneed.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Hubbard.
He's muted.
Mr. Hubbard.
I'm here.
Mr. Gregg.
Here.
Miss Arnold.
Here.
Miss Schneider.
Here.
Mr. Trotter.
Here.
All here.
Thank you.
The meeting tonight of the Springfield Board of Mayor and Aldermen was properly and publicly advertised as an electronic meeting. Instructions for viewing the meeting are posted on the City of Springfield's webpage. The video conference format for the City of Springfield Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting tonight. Number one, an effort to ensure an orderly meeting that is capable of functioning properly and amendable to public viewing. All participants except the chairman, our mayor, and the city clerk will be muted. Number two, video will be disabled for department heads and they will remain muted for the duration of the meeting unless called upon to participate in the meeting. If called upon, a department head will initiate their video feed and will be unmuted. Number three, board members wishing to be recognized to speak, to make a motion, second, or engage in discussion or debate are asked to raise their hand and wait to be recognized by the chairman. Once you have been recognized by the chairman, proceed with your discussion. Please make sure that your audio is unmuted before you begin your discussion. After you finish your discussion, please be sure to return your audio on mute. The reason for the continuous muting is the sensitivity of the Zoom software to ambient sounds, which may overtake the speaker, preventing them from being heard by meeting participants and the public. Number four, please allow the current speaker to finish their discussion before speaking. And number five, for voting, all board members will be unmuted when their name is called to cast your vote on the agenda item.
Thank you, Ms. Brickles. Do we have a first and a second to discuss?
Read the agenda item.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to read it. 1.1, discuss and possible take action to approve meeting electronically for all city meetings per the governor's executive order to ensure open and transparent operations during the COVID-19 emergency and to protect the health and safety of citizens and government officials. Do we have a first and a second to discuss?
Second. Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yes,
No
and as Kim read, hello?
Yes, Mr. Sneed, go ahead.
As Kim read the rules about having everyone muted because of potential ambient noise in the background. I haven't heard any ambient noise. Is there still a reason? Is there still a reason to keep everyone muted?
I'm not the technical guru.
I think because it's all muted, there's no ambient noise.
Well, can we try it and see if there is ambient noise and then address it if it is?
Who's in charge of that?
You are.
Andy? I don't have the ability. I'm not the host. Okay.
It's just a question. I didn't say that there's a problem. I thought we was addressing a problem that didn't exist.
I'm not sure. You can all unmute your buttons and we can try it.
Thought it was muted on y'all's end.
It was all muted is why there was no noise. So you could try it.
Okay. Would everyone unmute their buttons? And see if that will work? Okay. Are we hearing background noise now?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
If it becomes a problem, someone please stop us. Is there any more discussion? No more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Schneider,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
Sneed,
Yes.
Gregg,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. 1.2, the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen held March 17th, 2020, and a special called meeting held March 19th, 2020. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
all those in favor say, oh, we need to call the roll.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Schneider,
Aye.
Harris,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Sneed,
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Okay, I'll pause right here before we go to the next agenda item. I want to thank our city manager, Miss Gina Holt, our assistant city manager, Ryan Martin, Miss Lisa Crockett, and all of our department heads. This has been uncharted territories, and I am so proud of what all of you've done. I know that this has not been easy, and I know the employees have had difficult times social distancing, but we will get through this and we will move on. So I thank you for all the great job you've been doing. Thank you, Ms. Holt, and all your staff. 2.1, discuss and possible take action on ordinance 20-03 on a third and final reading, or ordinance rezoning one parcel located in the 9th Civil District on R.W. Gordon Drive from R15 Medium Density Residential District to MRO Multiple Residential and Office District. Do I hear a motion and a second to discuss?
So move. Second.
Thank you. Discussion? No questions? Call the roll, Ms. Brickles.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Sneed,
Aye.
Harris,
Yes.
Trotter,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Gregg,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. 2.2, discuss and possible take action on ordinance 20-04 on a third and final reading. An ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 5, Section 2-505 of the Springfield Municipal Code related to the qualifications of members of the Springfield-Robertson County Joint Airport Board. Do I hear a motion to discuss in a second?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion, questions?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sneed.
I think this is a mistake. I think people on airport board should have some relevant knowledge about aviation, where this change is taking away aviation knowledge or experience and can be given to anybody that they like on the board. Just think it's a mistake.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? No questions or discussion? Call the roll, please, Ms. Brickles.
Miss Arnold,
Aye.
Harris,
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Gregg,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Sneed,
Oh,
passed 6-1.
Thank you. 2.3, discuss and possible take action on ordinance 2022-05 on a first reading. A ordinance rezoning a portion of one parcel located in the 9th Civil District on Highway 41 South from Commercial General District to Commercial Services District. Ms. Brickles, will you please read this?
Ordinance 20-05, an ordinance rezoning a portion of one parcel located in the 9th Civil District on Highway 41 South from Commercial General District to Commercial Services District. Whereas an application for rezoning was presented to the Springfield Planning Commission by Combs Industrial Services Incorporated, Harvey Combs owner, and Clover Engineering owner's authorized agent, requesting a portion of one parcel approximately 3.57 acres located on Highway 41 South be rezoned from Commercial General District CG to Commercial Services District CS. Whereas the Planning Commission has reviewed the application and voted with favorable recommendation for this parcel to be rezoned. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of Springfield, Tennessee as follows. Section 1, a portion of one parcel totaling approximately 3.57 acres owned by Combs Industrial Services Incorporated, Harvey Combs owner, located on Highway 41 South, tax map 103, parcel 13 of the tax maps of Robertson County, Tennessee, and being more fully described by Exhibit A attached, is hereby rezoned from Commercial General District CG to Commercial Services District CS. This zoning shall become effective following its third and final passage as required by law.
Thank you. Do we have a first and a second to discuss?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Discussion and questions.
I have some questions for Mr. Brewer.
Okay. Mr. Brewer.
Yes, sir.
David, what exactly does this rezoning allow them to do with the property that's not already being done?
It allows them to do a entertainment venue, which is not allowed in the commercial general services.
So basically that's the extent of it.
That's the extent of it. It's CS is more restrictive than CG, so they're doing away with their exterior storage capabilities, and it's a more general commercial service or commercial district. It's less light industrial. That's the main reason, to my knowledge, that they want to have it rezoned, is to allow an entertainment venue.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Brewer, specifically, what type of entertainment, do you know?
They have not specified, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
David, has this gone through planning and zoning, or it just goes straight to us?
It went to planning and zoning the first Thursday of this month, and it comes to you recommended from them. Well, yes, sir, for this particular one. They reviewed the application and voted with a favorable recommendation. And I believe, if I remember correctly, they voted unanimously.
Was it divulged what the purpose of this rezoning was for at that meeting?
Yes, sir. We informed them that it would be for an entertainment venue.
Well, I mean, for entertainment, I mean, that could be adult entertainment. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Well, I feel very confident that it is not adult
I
entertainment.
understand, but I mean, it's vague. What kind of entertainment?
That is the information that has been provided to us by the applicant.
I haven't had anyone call me about this, so. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I've had one phone call concerning it, I think probably from the property owner. I'm assuming this is the co-op property. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. This is the co-op business property. Combs Industrial Services owns both the old co-op building and the former Rod's Car Care Center, and but he is only cutting out this portion. They're going to provide a subdivision plat at some point in the future, but the legal description that's within this ordinance will is what that parcel will be, or that lot will be in the future.
Okay, thank you. Other questions?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to make, it's not a question, but I'd like to make a statement that without more information and the vagueness of this, and there's a pretty solemn, the zoning and the use of the property across is a pretty solemn venue for what's being used for, to put entertainment across the street from that. It's almost like a clash. So I'll close with that.
Okay. Other
Ms. Mayor?
discussion? Yes, Mr. Hubbard.
Maybe on the second reading or so, he could specify what type of entertainment, because I'm like Mr. Sneed. I do not want a clash with that school that's just, what, 300 yards across the highway, okay? All right. That's my comment.
Other comments, questions?
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Yes.
where the way that this property currently sits, and across from, as Mr. Hubbard mentioned, the school and all, are they distance-wise, if they wanted to obtain a liquor license or something of that nature, or is that?
Yes, sir. If I remember correctly, our municipal code reduced the requirement for distances between churches, schools, and parks to 100 feet from corner of building to corner of building. There is no setback or distance requirement for a liquor license.
Okay.
Other questions?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say with the vagueness of this, again, we've had some other property that this would be basically spot zoning. We try to stay away from that, from my experience on the planning commission. And
Actually, Mr. Sneed, it is not spot zoning. It's still a commercial zone. So it's, you look at the zoning classification. So if it was in the center of a residential classification, yes, it would be spot zoning, but it's just changing one commercial zoning class to another commercial zoning class.
I understand. With entertainment to be the stated goal there, I guess the owners do realize there's 35 railroad trains that pass right behind it each day. I know it's on a traveled highway, but I just have concern with the vagueness of this.
Okay. Other questions or discussion? I hear no other questions. Please call the roll.
Trotter,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Arnold,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Sneed,
No.
Gregg,
Aye.
Harris,
Yes.
passed 6-1.
Thank you. We're on to our administrative agenda. 3.1, discuss and possible take action on the adjustments of the retail electric rates for the Springfield Electric Department due to a wholesale fuel cost adjustment by TVA. Do we hear a motion to discuss?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. And I think that the results are actually in your agenda. I'm not sure if Mr. Robert's on the phone, Robert? Mr. Gardner? Do we have any questions?
I'm here, Mayor.
concerning-
Yeah, we have a 0.18% decrease this month.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Any
Comment?
questions?
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. See, the citizens appreciate that.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Sneed,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Craig,
Aye.
Arnold,
Yes.
Schneider,
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Brickles. 3.2, discuss and possible take action on the adjustments in the monthly gas rates for the Springfield Gas Department. Do we hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Riddle?
Yes, the purchase gas adjustment's down 3.63% this month.
Thank you. Any questions?
Ms. Riddle,
Yes, sir.
with the other, all prices going down, this is highly affecting yours too, correct?
Well, this is kind of a unique deal in the last few years when oil prices are going down and tanking. What I'm seeing is I'm checking daily gas prices. Natural gas is steadily climbing. And that's due mainly to roughly 50 to 55% of our market is driven by speculators. So it's not making any sense, but stock traders are driving the price up.
I asked that question because some people need to know that, okay? They
Right.
probably thought the gas don't go down. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Other questions or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Harris,
Yes.
Schneider,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
Sneed,
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. 3.3, discuss and possible take action to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $5,279.65 to the Morris Wall Construction Company, Inc. The contract for the gas main relocation project on Highway 49 and Highway 25 East. The new contract amount will be $339,060.15. Do I hear a motion to discuss?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Questions on this change?
Yes, Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Sneed, go right
I'd
ahead.
like to ask Mr. Riddle, why are we moving the gas main at a cost of $339,000?
This is due to the TDOT, they're reworking that 49-25 intersection there. This particular change order was to eliminate trying to obtain easements. We had to move the gas line a little bit further up, and we had a 2-inch tap off of that particular location that fed a field regulator. So you'll notice that we deleted a 6-inch and where it goes from 6 to 4. And we just had to add that 1 2-inch hot tap because of how we had to move the line. But this whole relocation is due to the TDOT driven portion of this.
Okay.
All right. Other questions and discussion? Anyone else like to speak? Call the roll, please.
Schneider,
Aye.
Harris,
Yes.
Craig,
Aye.
Sneed,
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. 3.4, our State Form CT 0253, a report on the debt obligation, which reports on the lease purchase agreement for the 66 golf carts that was issued March 17, 2020. No action is required. Ms. Lisa Crockett is required to have this on our agenda. We don't need to, okay. 3.5, State Form CT 0253, a report on the debt obligations, which reports on the lease purchase agreement for the food and beverage cart that was issued on March 17, 2020. No action required. 3.6, discuss and possible take action to approve their certificate of compliance for the following liquor stores. Number 1, APM1 Inc., doing business as Express Liquors. Number 2, MSM1 Inc., doing business as Warehouse Liquors. Do we have a motion to discuss in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on these two applications?
Comment.
Yes.
The Brown Street is right behind Wendy's, right?
Yes.
Going out? You on that side?
Am I correct?
Yes. Ms. Holt,
Okay.
is that correct?
They're real busy.
That they are.
I think Mr. Trotter had a question.
Mr. Trotter?
So these are already existing liquor stores, not new ones.
Yes.
Just
If I'm
changing the
not
name.
mistaken, we have to do this every year. Correct, Ms. Holt?
These are just adding another owner to. They're adding a third partner.
Right. So we don't do it every year, just when there's a change in ownership.
Okay. Everyone understands this, that they're adding a third partner.
Oh, okay. Mayor, is Express
Yes.
One, this in my ward, this right across from Hardee's, not Hardee's, but Burger King? Is that
Across
the
the
one?
street. Is that
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Express is the one
Okay.
next to the donut, isn't it?
That's Warehouse Liquors, isn't it? Warehouse is on Brown, correct?
That's on Brown. Express is the one I was talking about, in Moreland Shopping Center.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other clarifications or questions? No other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Sneed,
Aye.
Harris,
Yes.
Trotter,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Gregg,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. 3.7, discuss and possible take action to approve the 12-month extension to the mowing of the right-of-ways and the litter removal contract for TRH Contracting. The contract will expire June 30th, 2021. Unit price will remain the same as the original contract. Do we hear a motion to discuss in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am, I lost my file. It said
You lost
couldn't.
3.7?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But we'll move on anyway.
Okay.
Just
Can we
move
have-
on.
Can we have somebody help him with his technical difficulties?
Hey, Ryan's here.
Okay. Any other questions? Mr. Hubbard, can you see it now?
Ryan just about had it here. Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay. Anyone else have discussion? Call the roll, please.
Arnold,
Aye.
Harris,
Yes.
Trotter,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Gregg,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Sneed.
Aye.
Passed 7-0.
Thank you. 3.8, discuss and possible to take action to ratify the emergency purchase of a tornado warning siren from Allcom Wireless Inc. in the amount of $24,970. Do we have a motion to discuss in a second?
So move.
Second.
Okay. Any questions?
So move here. We have bit the bullet, but the tornado season is not quite over with, so that's a good move.
No, sir. I don't think it's ever over in Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Trotter,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Sneed,
Aye.
Gregg,
Ah,
Harris,
Yes.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. 3.9, discuss and possible take action to approve the Springfield Robertson County Airport budget. Do I hear a motion and a second?
so move.
Second.
Thank you. Questions and discussion?
I feel disturbed.
Okay. Anyone else like to speak? If no other questions, call the roll, please.
Sneed,
No.
Harris,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Gregg,
Ah,
Arnold,
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
passed 6-1.
Thank you. 3.10, discuss and possible take action to appoint Mr. James Thomas to the Springfield Housing Authority Board to replace Mr. James Wilhite. Do I hear a motion to discuss?
so move.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Just want to thank Mr. Wilhite for his service. He's been on that board for a very long time, and we thank him so much for serving his community and doing such a wonderful job on that board. I think he was on that board for over, it was a long time, 30 years. Yeah, thought I read that. Any questions?
I'd like to comment, Mr. Thomas, who was a retired employee about 35 years, so he's thoroughly abreast with the needs of the housing authority. So he's a good candidate.
I liked his resume. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Harris,
Yes.
Schneider,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Trotter,
Aye.
Sneed,
Aye.
Gregg,
Ah,
Arnold,
Aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to our consent doc.
Mayor, I move to take the consent doc as one.
Okay,
Second.
there's been a motion made to take the whole consent document together. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
On 4.1 for the water department, Mr. Beers. A question for Mr. Beers.
I'm here, Mr.
This is about $10 a linear foot for a replacement of a 4 to an 8-inch line, correct?
Yes, sir.
That seems relatively low. Is there any other, is this turnkey? Because it sounds almost too cheap for $10 a square linear foot for 8-inch line.
Well, the savings therein lies with the engineering was done in-house and the construction will be done in-house. That's simply the material purchased.
So there's no labor here. This is just material.
No, sir.
So you're saying your department's going to install it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal.
Okay. Any other questions?
yes, Mr. Beals, thank you for being very vigilant.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Beers. I know your department has had a rough week with the repairs. So thank you. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Schneider, Harris,
Yes.
Gregg,
Ah,
Sneed,
Yes.
Trotter,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Hubbard,
aye.
passed 7-0.
Thank you. Our city manager's report, Ms. Gina Holt.
Okay, we need to pick a date the week of May the 11th for our budget workshop. So is May the 12th a good day for everybody? That would be Tuesday night.
I have a meeting that night.
Okay, 14th.
I can do the 14th.
I can too.
I can do the 14th.
I'm good.
Of course, my May 12th meeting may not meet.
What about the rest, Mr.? We have a beer board, I think, and a BZA, but we could work around that.
On the 14th?
Yes. What about the rest of you? The 12th or the 14th? Which? We need everybody there.
And we normally start that at 5 p.m., correct?
We do. But if we have a beer board and a BZA, we may have to wait till.
Well, okay, let's go back and discuss the 12th, because I'm thinking that my meeting will not be canceled on the 12th because of social distancing.
What about the rest of you on the 12th?
I'm game on the 12th.
I can do the 12th.
I can do
Is
it.
there anyone that can't?
Either day is fine.
Okay, so we could do the 12th at 5 o'clock.
With munchies. That's food. Texas talk.
What did we say? 5 o'clock
5 o'clock,
at City Hall?
yes. And we will still be properly distanced.
We can spread out this room for that meeting.
Okay. Then wanted to announce that we will be opening the Greenway and the golf course this Friday, the 24th. But we're still doing the social distancing, which we will be doing for some time. So it's all going to be as long as people cooperate and play by the rules and take safety measures, that we will keep these open. And also wanted to follow up with the water that the water main break that Mr. Beers and his department have been handling. It's a serious situation. I'm sure you all have seen the notice about we're asking people to conserve water. So we still are. This also applies to residents in Greenbrier that are getting our water. We're asking everybody to conserve through Saturday, the 25th. And Mr. Beers is planning on making some repairs, but until he can do that, we need to get the water back up to the level where it needs to be. And so this is, it's a pretty serious request that we're asking everybody to take, to be aware and not use any excess water. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Holt.
Question.
Yes. Mr. Trotter.
Yes, has the curbside pickup stopped? I mean, normally for the month of April, they have curbside pickup and debris pickup, and it's almost the end of April, and I haven't seen any.
Well, what they do is they split it in half. And so they worked on one half of the city the first half of the month. They're in the second half of the city the second half of the month. And everyone realizes that usually we always have a lot in April and October anyway, but since people have been at home, we have been overwhelmed. And there is so much junk out. And if people would just be patient, they're getting around to it, because we are working with less staffing as we're rotating the shifts. So they will get around to everybody. But
I thought that might be the case, and that's what I had told some people. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
I have a question for Gina.
Yes, and then Mr. Hubbard.
As the governor has announced that he will not extend the order past the 30th, as the city, have you been notified as to what plans are going to be, as to what can operate at what time? Is that going to be released sometime soon?
We have not been, it's actually kind of a vague order. It's the non-essential businesses can start back up with the exception of those 6 large cities. And so we haven't received any type of notice. And so we're going to try to work countywide with the different cities and the county to try to come up with a unified decision as far as how everything's handled. So that's the best we know right now, but it is kind of generic as far as what the order was.
My question is,
Yes, sir.
are you considering bringing full staff around the 30th?
We're going to look at that. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a discussion about that tomorrow as far as how to bring everybody back and open up the lobby again at City Hall and do some of that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And they'll be sending out emails. Okay.
I would like to go along with what the mayor said earlier to all of you department heads, Gina, Ryan, all of you done a great job. It's been some very trying times, new territory to everybody, and kudos for what y'all have done.
Yes, thank you. Phones rung off the wall, and we've had a lot of questions, and we'll continue to get a lot of questions over the next couple of days. And I'm sure the governor's office will be putting out more information this week. All right, this meeting. Yes, sir.
Now, they broke down the virus cases for Springfield. Do you have knowledge of that? All I hear is Robertson County, but Springfield itself.
They're not giving out city-specific information. It's countywide, so we have no idea. As of today, in the county, there are 117 cases that are positive. We do not know where those positives are. It could be.
Is there any kind of way we can press this, because we might have people walking around in the city infecting other people?
Oh, we probably do. People are not taking it seriously. People are not wearing masks like they should. Just go to Lowe's on any weekend or any day during the week. People are not following the social distancing practices. So people do need to take it seriously. And as a matter of fact, we'll probably have to do some kind of campaign on our own to remind people to properly distance and wear masks, gloves, and whatever, because we'll be living with this for a month or more or longer.
Another question, the church services, when do you think they may be able to resume with 10 or 20 participants? Are we going to stay with what we got?
Well, those decisions, we have not had any decisions at a local level based on churches. We're not going, we don't really have any way to enforce that, and nor do we want to, I think. So I think different churches are talking about different things, and I've heard some are talking about maybe by the end of June or July, some maybe before. So I think it'll be a while.
Well, they all been complying, but I thought maybe, it would we sort of relax it a little bit, these 10 or 20 people spread out. Thank you, then.
Okay. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.